Welcome to OGW Studios, and today at OGW, just in time for Christmas, we're going to be talking about some gifts that you can buy your musician, family and friends. So like we said, it's not long till Christmas now, over a month, about 6 weeks away, and it's that time to start thinking about those gifts that you haven't got yet. Hopefully you're prepared, and hopefully you've done most of them. I'm nowhere near done with my family yet. I've really got to get cracking on that, but here's a little guide, hopefully that can help you with a few things that you can look out for your loved ones who are musicians. So I'm going to be kind of broad, kind of general, because there are a lot of options available to you, but there are a couple of specifics I'll mention as well. But the notion is broad on this first one, and that is guitar care kits. So if you have a loved one in your family that is a guitarist, super handy, because they can be someone you can buy for quite easily. If you know what they like, you can buy them something super expensive or something really simple. A great catch-all general gift is the guitar care kit. That is something I've had bought for myself as well. There's some new ones that have recently come out from Didario that are fantastic, with your sort of conditioning oils and things for your fretboard, anti-static wipes. Sometimes they'll have like string winders, neck rests in them. Didario have got a really nice tripod neck rest, which is really useful. I've used one in the past at practice when my guitarist had one. They're very cool. And these guitar kits can be great. I mean, they can range from 50, 60, 90 pound. I've seen some of them, down to sort of cheaper ones that you can get Amazon ones, like by companies like Moon, GIF or Music have some similar things. But these are really helpful for guitarists because there's always something in there, even if it's a few things that they can use almost daily if they are a playing musician who possibly gigs or practices a lot. Something in a similar realm, I mean pretty similar but not the same, is a guitar maintenance kit. Now this would feature things like your Allen keys, your screwdrivers that are the common sizes that you need for guitars. I know a lot of guitars are different, but obviously most truss rod adjustments are going to be done with an Allen key. Even if it's got the bottom of the neck versus the top of the neck adjuster, it's usually an Allen key. Most of the time you have a similar size screwdriver for your scratch plates and your access plates at the back of your guitar, and even for bridge adjustments. But there are some sort of tools in there, peg pullers for acoustic guitars, again clippers, string winders, things like that, all handy stuff that you might need for your general broad maintenance of your guitar. These can be very useful, as a guitarist can never really have too many tools. I've got tons of Allen keys of all different sizes. I've pared my collection down, but it is quite a disparate collection of things cobbled together in a case. It would be cool maybe to have an all-encompassing case. Again, Didario have an awesome one on their website that I saw recently next with the guitar care kits. And Ernie Ball have some, Fender have some. There's lots available out there, so check them out. Maintenance kits are very handy. Something for the drummers out there, there's something called the Pearl Tech Tool. It's a really cool little multi-tool. It's very reminiscent of the ones you get from different companies on Amazon. I've seen a bunch of those sort of the different Leatherman sort of knockoffs in a way, or takes of the Leatherman, but this is a Pearl one, so it's going to be decent quality. And the sort of features it has on it, it even has a bottle opener, which is handy, Allen wrenches, Allen keys, screwdrivers, drum key, it has a bunch of little features on it, and it's a cool little metallic orange sort of with black anodized tools on it. It's a cool piece of kit, and I think that will run you around £20. I've seen that on Gear for Music. It's a cool piece of kit, and I think for a drummer, that's something that they'll find many uses for. Something very cool that I came across when looking at sort of accessories and things for my rig for bass. I'm sure you could use this for guitar as well, but it is marketed by Mark Bass, and it is the Bass Keeper. It's a really cool sort of dual strap system where it basically hooks onto the handle of an amp. I'm just looking at my amp here, which you can't see, but down here I have the handle of my amp. And basically it hooks onto the handle of the cab, and then it has a secondary hook on it that's horizontal that hooks to your neck, and you can stand your bass. You might not be a fan of standing your bass on the floor on the strap button or on the base of it for your finish, but if you don't mind, if you're using a carpeted area, it might even just be for home in between takes. The Mark Bass is really cool, and I've seen it available from between, I think the cheapest was £13 up to around £20. Now, cases for guitarists and bass players are a tricky one because they are an awesome present. I've had them bought for me in the past. I had to guide the person in the right direction of what I wanted. And there are so many available in so many different price points. I personally am a big fan of Protection Racket. I use Protection Racket for most of my guitars. Whenever I gig, I'm always using Protection Racket. Comfort, it's practical, lots of space for storage. brilliant supports inside and stuff you can modify and move around inside the guitar to protect your guitar. So yeah, I love Protection Racket. You can check their stuff out. There are guitar, electric, acoustic and bass available from normal to a deluxe. There are obviously TGI that go from the standard TGIs up to the TGI Extreme cases. I've seen TGI cases for everything from ukuleles all the way up to stand-up basses. I think they might even have maybe, I think I've seen them. And then you've got your mono cases, which are up there in a bit more of the pricey range. But there are so many, things available. There's such a breadth of different features. Maybe if you're going to buy a case, either if you don't know, what you're doing, I would say probably talk to the person you're buying for and get an idea. Maybe you let them down by not surprising them, but at least you'll get them something they'll really like. Now, something that's a quick part I'll sort of brush over very quickly is guitar strings and picks. Tricky, you can get a selection of picks for someone for them to play around with. I wouldn't mind if my wife bought me a selection of picks, a bunch of different gauges, because I always like to play around with them and I can always do videos on them, things like that. And experimenting around with my different guitars, different string gauges and different pick thicknesses. Yeah, it's kind of fun, something I like to do. It's one of those little nerdy things that I enjoy about being a guitarist. But in passing, I would say on strings, it'd be great to know what they use. Have a sneak around and look at some of their gear, check their gig bags. Maybe you can find out, or just straight up ask them. Try and pretend you feign a bit of interest, or alternatively, just ask them, say, I want to buy some strings. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. Another one is pedals. This is a tricky one because pedals are so subjective in a way that, what do you need? Most guitarists are going to have a tuner. Most guitarists are going to have a gate if they're a sort of high gain player. Most guitarists are going to have a decent reverb, maybe a chorus, maybe a couple of different, of analog or digital effects that they like. And there are so many available now with companies like Donna that offer sort of your cheaper range of guitars. I've reviewed a couple of the cheap ones myself that, a couple of them I got as gifts and were really cool. A power source is really good if they need that for a pedal board maybe, or just for a rig. There's a few options. Something that is really cool that I always see in gift guides, and I actually would say is kind of cool, is the wiretap. And it's a fantastic little pedal that I believe is about £25. It is really handy for guitarists just to put down ideas and when they're messing around. And I think that you get a lot of use out of something like that. So the wiretap pedal from TC Electronic is available for quite a few places. So yeah, check one of them out. I think you would be surprised how cool they could actually be. Another cool pedal that I've seen recently is the Digitech Whammy Ricochet. It'll pitch shifter pedal. It's really cool. There is no expression pedal on it. It is a stomp box style, but it is very cool for some of the stuff you can do. I haven't had a chance to play around with one, but it is something interesting. It reminds me a lot of like the Pitchfork. But I've seen them floating around for around £60. It's not a bad sort of mid to sort of pushing towards a little bit more expensive for a general gift for someone. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about on the list, if you probably noticed, is I'm not really veering into the really expensive. I don't want to talk about gifts that are hundreds and hundreds of pounds. There's tons of stuff you could find that are really expensive and really extravagant. I've had guitars bought for me that cost quite a lot of money. I know my wife bought. She listens a lot to what I like. I'm not sure if it's a product of her being really good at gift giving or it's a product of me talking too much about guitars. I think it's 50-50. And, I want to avoid talking about that. We talk about, budgets and things like that. And we like to talk about things that are ideal for musicians who are starting out or musicians who don't want to break the bank. And sometimes experimenting shouldn't cost you a ton of money. I think it's good to have a chance to try new things and have the option to sort of try lots of different things. So the last thing I want to talk about is about as broad as you can get. Something unique. Look at what's unique. Look at what maybe your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, son, brother, whoever it is you're buying for, something they don't have, something they probably wouldn't buy themselves. Like I said, I love playing around with picks. I personally, when playing bass, use a 6mm gravity pick. They may never use something like that, and they would probably never buy themselves something like that. Why not buy them a 6mm pick? Buy them something big, different, buy them some different strings. If you can afford to buy them something different, buy them a weird guitar or something interesting. But I would say if you're sticking in a budget, like I'm thinking, a pedal they would never maybe have tried before, something that looks interesting and different, I think that's always a good thing for a musician. The chance to try new things is gold for musicians, and I've been lucky enough to have that spirit carried over into some of the gifts I've been bought, and I sometimes have the option to buy something really cool or buy something really different, and I will tend to buy the different over the cool because I like the opportunities it affords me. So that was a very brief and quite vague rundown of gifts, but hopefully you get the idea. It's a tricky one because there's a ton of lists out there. There's a ton of information out there on stuff you can buy. You're always going to be sold a lot of the similar things, but the notion really is set a budget, know the person you're buying for, and, just go for it. Get them something, give it a shot. The spirit's there, the gift giving is what counts really, and I'm sure that they'd love it anyway. So thanks for watching the video today. Please leave me a comment if you've got any ideas, some cool stuff that you'd like me to check out, or tell me some of the gifts you got, best, worst, weirdest. I'd love to hear weirdest because maybe I'll go and buy one myself and check out what's so weird about it. Like the video, subscribe, share, tell your friends, hit the notification bell if you are already subscribed. And, hopefully we'll see you next week with another interesting video with something strange to talk about. But most of all, as we always say, take it easy and take care.